I think a lot of speakers forget, or aspiring speakers, that it's really good training ground to work for a seminar company.
Bit about outside of your organization, how did you start getting those very first speaking engagements then, as opposed to how you're doing it now?
Oh, what a good question. So in the beginning, when I was working for that startup and I was doing the leadership development training and responsible for training, thousands and thousands of people twice a day, I heard in the newspaper, that's how long ago that was, that there was a listing in the Sunday paper that there was a seminar company looking for trainers. And I went to this hotel for an audition, and they told me right out of the gate, because I was 28 years old, we don't hire speakers under 40. And at the time, I had all these certifications, right? I had 8 professional certifications. It was over 140 different courses I could train. But I walked away, then got outside and thought, no, I'm not leaving. And I went back there, and the woman said to me, in line, like I mentioned, and I was just resolute. And I ended up getting the audition because I showed her my certifications. I showed her 10 years of experience, and I got the job on the women's conference. So it was full circle for me all these years later. I think a lot of speakers forget, or aspiring speakers, that it's really good training ground to work for a seminar company. And that's where I got it. I was on that women's conference for 7 years, traveling to every state in the union and, seeing thousands of people at the time a day in those audiences. I got my chops in the beginning from a seminar company. So whether it's national seminars or Paget Thompson, they're great training grounds to get your feet wet, but also to start perfecting what you do. Now, what I do is very different, right? I've built extraordinary relationships with about 26 different speakers bureaus out there. So I work with speakers bureaus all the time. I've also hired an assistant who is combing the internet constantly for call for speakers. And so I'm constantly looking, but there are also ways that if you're an aspiring speaker, that you can find collections of events looking for speakers. Some are no pay, some are full fee. And you might find that by doing a Google search for call for speakers. If you don't have your Google alerts on for call for speakers, you get 5 of them. And then getting very specific in your niche, you need to. So call for female speakers, call for speakers, women's conference, call for speakers 2025, whatever it is. I will get every day my 5 emails. So sometimes there's gold in there, and I can do a very high paying event. A lot of times it's for a freebie. And I don't always do those unless it's in my backyard. And yes, I still do freebies. I just did one at an elementary school about 2 weeks ago. But I am constantly searching. You can also search call for speakers on your social platforms, all of them. You can use tools like eSpeakers. Everybody should have an eSpeakers profile up without question. eSpeakers also has in their hub, they've got events that you can go through. There's also Speaker Hub, which everybody should have let me say this differently. Every aspiring speaker should have a Speaker Hub profile up. There are lots and lots of ways out there for you to research events. And if you're not doing that, I constantly tell people, if you're not searching for events for a minimum of an hour a day, you will not be finding the opportunities. You have to.
Just perfectly orchestrated. What you just lined out either totally overwhelmed half of our listeners or totally inspired the other half of the listeners, right? Some of us are just like, well, can I just get a bureau? Like, can I just get an agent? Do I really have to do anything on my side? Yes, get a bureau. Yes, get an agent, even if that's the thing. And I am an agent, so I'm talking from the heart, from what's real. The more you do on your side, the more you're really going to make it.